There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, show recap prediction sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
What is going on, everyone? It's the EVP from the EVP Show, and we are live back again. I enjoyed everyone last night for the NXT Vengeance Day prediction show, but tonight we are live for the TNA Impact Recap Show. It's the third episode since I started covering TNA. A lot of news broke today. So Sunday is going to be a very interesting show on Sunday Scoops. I'm talking about a lot of news broke today. So definitely looking forward to Sunday's show. Also, I saw on Instagram today that LFG Season 3 will start on April the 26th. So that's when I will start my LFG Season 3 recap, is on April the 26th, which will be the weekend after WrestleMania. So I used to have doubleheader Tuesdays, and then I guess until LFG is over, I'll be running doubleheader Sundays, because I'll still do Sunday Scoops, and then obviously LFG comes on late. It's like 10 p.m. Eastern before LFG comes on. So starting the week after WrestleMania, I will be starting LFG Season 3 recap show. I started Season 1, and I went about halfway through, and then I wasn't able to finish it. So, yeah, definitely wanna get that going. Just tweeting out to all the people, let them know that I'm live. Started about 10 minutes early. I mean, I'm never used to waiting an extra 10 minutes. It was good for TNA to actually be live tonight. They do make it difficult when it's a tape show, but they're actually live tonight, which is good. Just sending it out. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm excited though. Natty and Kevin Owens are going to be coaches for LFG Season 3. I seen, I believe it was Nikita Lyons, Anthony Luke, which is Maxine's husband. Drake Moreau from close to my hometown in Louisiana. Roxanne Perez's boyfriend. Kendall Gray. All of them I know all four of them are going to be on Season 3 of LFG. So looking for that. Kind of shocking to see Kendall Gray on there, but it's like it's gonna be a good season. Trying to think, I think maybe Panina. Obviously, she got a different name on Evolve. She picked Kendall Gray last night in a street fight, but Kendall Gray retained. So, yeah, a lot of news coming up Sunday. On Sunday Scoops, a lot of news broke today. Tomorrow's a big day with SmackDown. Drew McIntyre defending against Cody Rhodes. We're gonna see where they're going with the direction of WrestleMania. But Sunday Scoops is a big show. A lot of news about Road Dogg, and an hour earlier start time to WrestleMania, and looking like we're going to get 14 to 16 matches on the card. So if you guys are wanting to be on the WrestleMania prediction show, be prepared, because I don't do two separate shows. I do two separate recaps for night 1 and night 2, but it will be one big prediction show. So those that you are wanting to come on to predict the WrestleMania prediction panel, you guys, just giving you guys well in advance that we will be covering night 1 and night 2 on the predictions. I'm not going to have a separate prediction show for each night. I will have a separate recap. I'll have a night 1 recap show and a night 2 recap show, but the prediction show is going to be for at least 14, maybe 16 matches. So yeah, it's going to be a lot to cover. So if we get a lot of people, be prepared for a big show, long show too, very long. But welcome to the TNA Recap. I'm glad you guys are here. Hope you guys were able to tune in last night to the NXT Vengeance Day prediction show with me and Caleb and Lou, Stampede, and Chris Branson, and Lady Alpha. They all joined me last night, so shout out to them for joining me for the prediction show last night. Yeah, we're just a couple of days away from NXT Vengeance Day, which I'll be doing a recap show late Saturday, or after Saturday night, but not late, but about 10:30 Saturday night after Vengeance Day goes off. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. So tonight TNA is live. This is the first live show I've been able to cover in 3 weeks. The other 2 shows have been taped. Fortunately, next week's show is going to be taped as well, but it's okay. Have to make do with what we can handle. I did say they're going to have a big event coming up in New Orleans, so later on at the end of March. So looking forward to that. So they're live tonight from the Gateway Center Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to see the TNA X Division champion, the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, defend his title against the wanted man, Nick Nemeth. Plus, TNA Knockouts Women's World Champion, Ariana Grace, will defend her title against the Wild Child, previously injured last week from Tessa Blanchard, Jody Threat. So the show opens up with a video package recapping some of the events from last Thursday's edition of Thursday Night Impact. Tom Hannafin and Matthew Grewald then welcomed us to the show, and Tom Hannafin thanked Matthew and Gia Miller and the TNA team for welcoming him back to the Impact Zone after he was assaulted last week by his former best friend Steve Macklin. Tom Hannafin then says he will address the attack after the opening Knockouts Women's World Title match between Ariana Grace and Jody Threat. So before we get to the opening match, you know how in WWE and all these other shows, they like show people out in the crowd. I did a Zoom. Obviously, you saw some Atlanta Falcons out there. They're in Atlanta. But we saw a familiar face. Hall of Fame ring announcer Lillian Garcia. She was there also. She was in the crowd with her husband as well. The camera shows a shot of the crowd. Lillian Garcia shown in attendance, watching the show along with the cast of Mama June. So if you guys watch Mama June, the cast of Mama June was in attendance as well. So we get our first match of the night, and it's for the TNA Women's Knockout Championship. Jody Threat makes her way down to the ring, and she will be going up against the TNA Women's Knockout Champion, Ariana Grace, accompanied by her man, Shannon Stacks Lorenzo. It was good. It was funny to see Mama June out there, and it was definitely shocking to see Lillian Garcia. Before the action officially begins, Tessa Blanchard, Victoria Crawford, and Mila Moore join the commentary booth, and Blanchard admits to jumping Jody Threat backstage last week. So Tessa Blanchard, Victoria Crawford, and Mila Moore was the ones that injured Jody Threat backstage last week. Alright, so Ariana Grace's first title defense. The match starts off Ariana blindsides Jody from behind during the ring announcement. She then delivers some shoulders to the midsection in the corner. then hits some knees on Jody Threat's midsection and senses in a variation of a Boston Crab. Jody Threat then hits a kick on Ariana Grace's head, then nails a couple of knees on the back of Grace's neck and follows it up with a snap suplex. Jody Threat then hits a Falcon Arrow to Grace, but Grace retreats to the outside and obviously has a little kissy with Shannon Stacks outside. So then Jody Threat then flies through the middle rope to take out Stacks on the outside, and we see Danny Luna, Li Ying Li, and Zaya Brookside scatter around the ringside area to watch the action. Everybody is keeping their eyes closely peeled to Ariana Grace. She's got a huge target on her, being the Women's TNA Knockouts champion. Grace then puts on Santina Morella's Cobra, but Jody Threat grabs it from her, but then Ariana Grace goes to put on Santina Morella's Cobra, but Jody Threat grabs it from her, and when she does, Ariana Grace rolls up Jody Threat for the 1, 2, 3. Ariana Grace finds a way again to retain. Jody Threat had her where she wanted her, but she didn't get the win. The winner is still the TNA Women's Knockouts champion, Ariana Grace, who was accompanied by her boyfriend, Shannon Stack Lorenzo. After the match, TNA President Carlos Silver is seen on the apron ready to hand the title to Ariana Grace, but Shannon Stack Lorenzo snatches it away to place it on, it's not his girlfriend, it's on his fiancée. So Stacks grabs the title away from Carlos Silva and puts it around the waist of the still your TNA Women's Knockouts champion, Ariana Grace. Congratulations to her on her first successful title defense. So Tom Hannafin and Matthew Rehwald then addressed the controversy from last week with Steve Macklin. Tom Hannafin was disgusted, and Matthew Rehwald said that Steve Macklin crossed lines you don't cross in this business, and he hopes that Mike Santana kicks Steve Macklin's ass. Matthew Rehwald then says that it is a matter for another time because right now it is time to focus on the action at hand. So we go backstage with Gia Miller, and she is interviewing Ryan and Nick Nemeth. The mic wasn't working for the first half of the interview. So I don't really know what they said. Leon Slater might have gotten one over on Nick Nemeth on the pay-per-view, but Nemeth got the win back last week and will get the TNA X Division title tonight. Like I said, the mic was cut out for the first half of the interview, so I just caught the very end of that interview segment with Ryan and Nick Nemeth backstage with Gia Miller. So, making their way down to the ring, accompanied by the personal concierge, the Elegance brand makes their way down to the ring. And then the personal concierge then introduces himself and apologizes for the absence of Ash by Elegance. He says that Ash is not in the ring with the rest of the Elegance brand for mental health reasons. But Heather by Elegance grabs the microphone and says she can't take any more of the fans' boos because Ash is her hero and her best friend. Then M by Elegance then tells Mickie James that she had her moment and it's now the era of Elegance and calls out Mama June in the crowd. So the Elegance brand is wanting Mama June to come into the ring. And that was hilarious. Heather and M then get in June's face, telling her that they're the ones with elegance, beauty, and class. M then says June sitting in the crowd is offensive. And then out of nowhere, ODB appears in the crowd and says she's trying to sell some meat on her food truck. She then says she's here to stand up for Mickie James, but M and Heather call ODB and June disgusting. M then tells ODB to come get some if she's hungry, and ODB says she's always hungry. She then nails M and Heather with kicks and low blows. She nails M and Heather with kicks, and she hits a low blow to Mr. Elegance. Then grabs a cooler she brought to ringside with her in her hands. June and her family then pour the meat. They had a big family cup of meat, and June and her family poured the meat on M and Heather from the Elegance brand. So definitely an embarrassment there for M and Heather, and they were embarrassed right there. So TNA X Division Champion Leon Slater and TNA World Tag Team Champions Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy then exchanged words at the back, and the Hardys tell Leon Slater that he has earned everything that he has gained in TNA. So the Hardys were giving Leon Slater his flowers. They shake hands. So we get ready for the next match of the night. TNA goes by pretty quick, guys. This is usually my shortest stream of the night, so shout out to Raymond. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. And shout out to the 83 people listening. So we get ready for the next match of the night. The Righteous, Sinner and Saint, Rich Swann, and BDE and the System make their way down to the ring for the next match of the night, and this is going to be the TNA World Tag Team Championship #1 contender 4-way match. So it's going to be the System, the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers and Barrett Bronson, versus the Righteous, Vincent and Dutch, versus BDE and Rich Swann, versus Sinner and Saint, Judas Akaras, and Travis Williams. So the match starts off with BDE and Travis Williams. Both men go back and forth with one another. BDE then hits Williams with a drop kick, but Williams nails a double underhook suplex to him and tags out to Judas Akaras. Swann then tags in and hits a blockbuster to Akaras, then double teams on him with BDE and goes for a pin. But Barrett Bronson comes in and breaks up the pinfall and nails both BDE and Swann with right hands. Dutch then hits everyone else at ringside, then sends BDE crashing into the mat. Vincent then begins to beat down on Swann. Swann recovers and sends Williams crashing into the corner, but BDE tags in and nails Williams with a clothesline. Vincent then tags in, but BDE rolls him up. Righteous then double team on BDE, and Vincent pins him, but everyone else gets in the ring to break up the fall. Bronson then clotheslines Dutch out of the ring with Williams and Icarus double teaming on Myers. BDE and Swann then nail Williams and Icarus with double cutters, and Vincent catches them both with a double DDT. Myers then gets a tag in and hits a spear on BDE. Bronson then follows it up with an over-the-shoulder cutter to him for the 1, 2, 3. So the winner of the 4-way match and the new #1 contender to the TNA World Tag Team Championship is the System, the most professional wrestler Brian Myers and Barrett Bronson. So then we get some creepy segment vignette in the back, a Rosemary vignette, and she is making a list. We Are Rosemary has one last shot to make things right. Yeah, that was pretty creepy. That reminded me a lot of very similar to Tatum Paxley there on that. So next up, coming to the ring, we have Moose, accompanied by his new manager, Alicia Edwards, make their way down to the ring. Moose then grabs a microphone and starts off by saying he wants to get straight to the point. Moose then says the System is a group who gets mad when someone outshines the rest of the pack. Moose then points to a few Atlanta Falcons legends in the crowd and calls them family. and says he knows that they're all proud of him with everything he's gone to in order to become the face of the franchise. Moose then promises to go to every single member of the system, starting with Cedric Alexander next week in an Atlanta street fight. So that match is official for next week on TNA Impact. Cedric Alexander will go one-on-one with Moose in an Atlanta street fight. Moose then says Brian Myers is next, and he'll remind everyone of why he was once called Edge's bitch. And calls out Barry Bronson, and he tells him that he can't even lace up Moose's boots. Moose! Shout out to the Unseen Blinghausen of WWE DWE podcast. Damn, you gotta change your last name to Hausen. I guess I can be the EVP Hausen. I'm not gonna do that though. But shout out to the Unseen Blinghausen of DWE podcast. Make sure you give her a follow. She is one half of Talk It Up Wrestling podcast and also DWE Radio. Make sure you give a subscription and follow to Talk It Up Wrestling podcast as well. So Alicia Edwards, which is Eddie's wife, grabs the microphone and tells Moose that he helped her last week. Alicia then says she hid behind the system for 2 years, but she no longer recognizes Eddie and Myers. You gotta do it. Everyone did it in our chat. I just don't know, man. Maybe if Cody wins tomorrow, I'll do it. If Cody wins tomorrow, I'll do it. I'll do it for like a couple days. Add Hausen to my last name. Will that take my check mark away? The Unseen Blinghausen. I guess I could be the EVP CJ Hausen. I don't know. I don't know how that would look. We'll see. Oh, I know he's winning, but I know that. I don't know. Andrew Badal said he wasn't winning, so yeah, I'll probably change it. We'll see. I don't know. I'm a little scared. I'm also all the leaks and shit online. All the fucking movements and shit. You know what happened last time, so we'll see. Hopefully they don't go back. They don't fucking pivot again. Alicia then says Moose told her to bet on herself, and she wants to stand side by side with Moose as he destroyed the system one by one. Moose then promises to beat Eddie and says he will do it right in front of his wife before he says that as a fact. Yeah, that's fucking Drew McIntyre movement shit. So annoying. I can't wait for tomorrow. Moose promises to beat Eddie. He says he's going to do it in front of his wife before he says that's a fact of life message from him. So the Moose Nation and Eddie Edwards, Alicia Edwards, Eddie's wife, she's with Moose, which is very odd. So we then get a TNA injury report presented by Bioplex. So if Bioplex listening, shout out to Bioplex. I mean, all these other content creators are getting sponsored from Blue Chew. Like, maybe I need to start hitting up some of these people so I can see if I can get a fucking sponsor. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, you know. I see Denise Salcedo's got Blue Chew, and JD's got Blue Chew, and fucking Santu's out. I think all of them have SeatGeek as well as a sponsor. So I need to start hitting up some people. I need a sponsor. So I can shout out to I'll shout out to Bioplex. I don't even know what the hell they are, but all right. So with the TNA injury report, Mustafa Ali is out and has not been seen since the casket match that he had 2 weeks ago with Elijah. Mickey James is out and remains under medical supervision, but Leon Slater and Nick Nemeth has been cleared for the main event tonight. That is your injury report. We then head to the Bioflex recovery room where Rich Swann offered some words of support to BDE. Trey Miguel also offered some words of wisdom, but then out of nowhere, the members of Order 4 show up without Mustafa Ali. Obviously, he's out. Jason Hodgson says BDE and Swann full house in here. My job is done. I know. You don't ever stick around. Now, you missed it earlier before you leave. If you're gonna be on WrestleMania predictions, it's gonna be 14 to 16 matches. So, I'm not gonna do two separate prediction shows. I'm gonna be doing all in one night. I will be doing a WrestleMania Night 1 recap and a WrestleMania Night 2 recap, but the prediction show will be one big show for all the fucking matches. So whoever comes on, be prepared to be on here for 2 hours. Yeah, I'm not gonna do two separate prediction shows. That's too much, and it'd be too hard to get that many people for 2 nights. I might though. We'll see. If I can get the people, then I don't know. I just don't want to put all that extra work on Miami and all that. That's a lot of fucking thumbnails to make. We'll see though. Well, it's whatever Miami wants to do, and I don't know if I can get enough people for two different. Well, and then stand and deliver 2 weeks before that. So yeah, that's a lot. That's like 3 prediction shows in like 2 weeks. I don't know if I can get enough people. WrestleMania, I probably could. I don't know if I could get enough people for 2 different prediction shows for WrestleMania. All right, so Order 4 arrives, but they don't have Mustafa Ali. Good night to the unseen Blinghausen of DWE. I don't think I'll ever get used to saying that. And shout out to 135 people, the most I've ever had for fucking TNA. Jason Hodgson says BDE and Swann wasted their opportunity. Believe the great hands should have been in that match. We then see Jada Stone getting checked out. She and Tasha Steelz get into a shoving match. Heart Diamonds Star. Shout out to Unseen Blinghausen of DWE Podcast. Yeah, I mean, when Cody wins, I'll change my name. But if he don't win, I'm not changing my name. Tasha Steelz and Jada Stone exchanged shows back and forth. Obviously, Leon, or I believe somebody, I don't know, one of them, somebody grabbed one of them. I don't know, TNA's wild. All right, so this was one of the matches I was looking forward to. Obviously, I still call it, it's Daria Ray, but I still call her Sonya Deville. When she came to TNA, her first free agent signing was Elena Black, previously known as Cora Jade. She makes her way down. I'm already fucking cursed. But I'll think about it. If Cody wins, I will change my name. That's all that. A little bit of compromise there. So Elena Black makes her way down to the ring for the next match of the night, and she will be going up against Sonya is gorgeous. Elena Black is pretty gorgeous herself as well. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe Mara Sade, I think that I'm pronouncing her last name. I believe that's Jakara Jackson. That was a little bit on the main roster, a little bit on NXT. I believe so. If I'm not right, then somebody correct me. But so it's gonna be a singles match with Mara Sade versus Elena Black, previously known as Cora Jade. They both look great in the ring tonight. The match starts off with both women locking up. Sade then hits a chop to Elena Black. The Black yeah, well, we're not gonna be putting that. Ronnie Allen, 92. I'm not gonna comment on that. The match on top with both men locking up. I definitely need a moderator for my YouTube page. Raymond, I'm gonna have to get with you or something. Yeah, I don't know who that person is. Match on top with both women locking up. Sade then hits a chop on Elena Black, but Black responds with one of her own, and she nails Sade with a shoulder tackle. Sade then hits Elena Black with a drop kick, then hits a second one to her under the bottom rope. Black then trips Sade and sends her back into the ring, then nails a knee to the spine and goes for a pin, but Mara kicks out. Elena then sends Mara's face crashing into the mat, then jams her knee into. Yeah, I'm on you. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. I'm streaming live from YouTube right now. I was saying I need a moderator for my YouTube channel because I don't know who this person is with this comment. I'm not going to respond to that. So Elena Black, yeah, I put the comment up there because I didn't even look at it. I just thought it was somebody. I don't know. Ronnie Allen 92. But I'm not putting that comment back up there. So Blackton sends Mara's face crashes to the mat, then jams her knee into the back of her neck and delivers some kicks on Mara as Mara is draped through the middle rope. Elena then delivers some hammer and anvil elbows on Mara and pins her, but Mara kicks out and nails Elena Black with a springboard crossbody. Elena then hits Mara with the forearm, but Mara nails a dropkick on Elena that sends her crashing off the ring apron and hits a crossbody to her through the middle rope. Mara then climbs the top rope, but Elena Black gets her down off the top rope and then delivers a fucking phenomenal Canadian destroyer and follows it up with a jumping knee strike, but she only gets a count of 2. So then she goes out to outside the ring to grab a chair. The referee takes the chair from Elena Black, but then Elena Black, I guess there was a fucking pair of brass knuckles up under the second turnbuckle on the other side. When the referee was getting rid of the chair, Elena Black puts the brass knuckles on. It was in the middle turnbuckle. She manages to hit Mara with them. Well, Mara picks her up for a suplex. But Elena then turns and hits Mara in the temple with the brass knucks for the 1, 2, 3. Elena Black steals the victory from Mara Sade tonight with the use of the brass knuckles. The winner of the singles match is Elena Black. So we didn't see AJ Francis, and he said he was supposed to have a big match tonight, but he obviously ran someone out of TNA, which is a reference to news that I will talk about on Sunday Scoop Sunday. Matt Warner and Stephanie leaving TNA. Francis then begins running down Atlanta teams, talking about, says the Falcons suck, or the Braves suck, Falcons suck, and which leads to the hometown. And then he said something. He was getting ready to talk about. He said something about the Hawks, and then out of nowhere, the hometown man steps up. The hometown man then says if AJ has a problem with Atlanta, he has a problem with him. The hometown man then delivers a punch to AJ Francis, but AJ fires back and knocks the hometown man down. Francis then says all he does is take people out of TNA, but hometown man returns and nails him with a weapon. And hell, they continue fighting for a while. You even see them during another segment. They're still fighting. All right, so this was a pretty good segment in the ring. So Frankie Kazarian makes his way down to the ring. Kazarian starts off by bragging that he was on WWE Raw this past Monday, or not this past Monday, but the Monday before, to pay tribute to the phenomenal AJ Styles. And you can hear the fans chanting AJ Styles there in Atlanta. Kazarian then said being in Atlanta twice in 2 weeks makes him feel dirty. Kazarian then talks about the guitar case casket match, and he brings out Elijah. Kazarian then says the match was an instant classic and asks Elijah a question. Frankie says, shit. Frankie then says, my bad, my notes are all jacked up. So Frankie says the match was an instant classic, and he asks Elijah a question. And then Frankie is ignored as Elijah has a headset up to, like, he's talking through the earpiece, and he obviously has his guitar out there as well. Elijah then asks the fans who want to walk with him, and they start chanting it. Frankie then says he does not, because Frankie then asked if he was going. Frankie said he's a Grand Slam champion in TNA, but Elijah has still yet to win a championship in TNA, and asked when he planned on doing that. So then Elijah just steps away again from the microphone, begins to speak, and Frankie has had enough, and he steps right to Elijah's face. Says, you know who I am, you're not going to disrespect me. And as they're still talking about to get into a brawl, we see AJ Francis and the Hometown Man brawling out on the stage. And then the Hometown Man is then choke slammed off the stage onto the fans in the crowd. Elijah then hurries out of the ring and then goes to check on them, and Frankie Kazarian says he is happy that this happened. So I believe it's official next week that AJ Francis is going to go one-on-one with Elijah as well. So we then head to the back where Eric Young grabs the camera, and all he says in a creepy ass like scream voice is he hopes Leon Slater wins, and he storms off. So we then get a vignette where Rosemary teleports into a room and signs a new TNA deal with Carlos Silver, but actually tricks him into signing some parchment. She has scribbled something on. The idea is that she's trying to check off each of the 7 deadly sins, and with this, she checks off pride. She then calls it Project Lazarus, and there is a bunny suit in the background, and it says to be continued. Some very creepy stuff there from Rosemary. To be continued. So we're getting ready for the next match of the night, and obviously the match of the show. Nick Nemeth, previously known as Dolph Ziggler in WWE, makes his way down to the ring with his brother Ryan Nemeth, as he will be going one-on-one with the TNA X Division champion, the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, for the TNA X Division championship. So the match starts off with both men battling back and forth. Nick Nemeth then scores a near fall. Both men then battle to the floor, and Ryan grabs Leon Slater as they return to the ring, and that allows Nick Nemeth to hit the Famouser for a 2 count. Slater gets back in control, and he lands a couple moves and goes for 2 separate pinfalls, but Nick Nemeth kicks out. Leon Slater then goes to the top, but is caught by Nick Nemeth. Nick then sets Leon up for a danger zone, but Leon Slater avoids it. He then hits a Blue Thunder Bomb for a near fall. I thought that was it. It's like 2 3/4. Slater is frustrated. He couldn't put Nemeth away. Or Nemeth was frustrated. He couldn't put Slater away. Slater then goes for a Swanton 450, but Nick Nemeth avoids it. He then goes for a move, but is caught with Leon Slater delivers and tribute to a Styles Clash. So Leon Slater nails a Styles Clash on Nick Nemeth. Slater then goes up top for the 450 splash, but Nemeth pulls his knees up, scoring a 2 count. Nick Nemeth then switches in a sleeper hold, and he wraps his legs around the body of Leon Slater. Slater is trapped, but he finds a way to fight his way out, only to be caught in the sleeper hold again. Leon Slater then drives himself backwards to break it up. Nick Nemeth then comes back with a super kick for another close ball. 2 3/4, almost a new champion again. Both men then battle to the top rope where Leon Slater hits a superplex. Then Leon Slater then hits a body slam, then goes up to the top and hits the Swanton 450 for the 1, 2, 3, and still your TNA X Division champion, the youngest in charge, Leon Slater. After the match, Eric Young, which said earlier in a very short little promo that he hopes Leon Slater wins, blindsides Leon Slater from behind and hits a pile driver on him on the floor. Leon Slater is out of it, and he is looked convulsed on the floor as Eric Young is holding up the TNA X Division title. So we go to the last part of TNA Impact tonight, where we will see the TNA World Champion Mike Santana. He makes his way down to the ring. Santana starts off by saying a few weeks ago he came out to tell everyone he was fed up with Steve Maclin and that Maclin didn't have the balls to face him. Santana then said taking accountability allowed him to stand here today as the champion. Santana then said when Maclin had that chance, he ruined it by putting his hands on Tom Hannafin. Santana then said they had tried to help Maclin many times over, but sometimes not everyone can be saved. Santana then says he'll play Maclin's game. Santana then says he wants Santino Marella to reinstate Maclin so he can put his hands to work like a real man. So then out comes Daria Ray. She makes her way down to the ring. Daria says she doesn't appreciate him acting like he runs the show when she runs the damn show. Daria Ray then says she does agree Steve Maclin should be reinstated. Daria Ray then announced Maclin is reinstated, but the fight is up to her, not Santino. And then out comes Santino Marella. Santino Marella then makes his way out and says there is a date that has been approved for them to fight, and that is going to be on March the 27th in my home state, New Orleans, Louisiana, at the TNA Sacrifice pay-per-view on March the 27th. So Santana then says when Maclin shows up next week, it's going to be on site. So Santino with a huge announcement. Guess that will be the main event, March 27th in New Orleans, Louisiana, at the TNA Impact Sacrifice I call it PLE, but pay-per-view, where Mike Santana will defend the TNA Men's Championship against Steve Maclin. So commentary then recaps highlights of the show. Tom Hannafin then complains that TNA just enables Steve Maclin. Matt Rewald then says Maclin is going to get his ass kicked and he hopes that it was worth it. And the show comes to a close. Pretty good show. Like I said, this was my first live show to be able to cover TNA. Obviously, they set up the main event match for the Sacrifice pay-per-view on the 27th of March in New Orleans, Louisiana. Mike Santana will be defending the TNA World Heavyweight Championship against Steve Maclin. So yeah, so I'm going to do some shout outs to everyone that tuned in tonight. Obviously next week we're going to see AJ Francis go one-on-one with Elijah, and then we're going to see the Moose has said he's going to take the system down one by one. And it starts next week with an Atlanta street fight against Cedric Alexander. So next week's show is taped. They're taping it right now, but I will be covering it live next Thursday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Shout out to the Unseen Blinghausen of DWE Podcast. One half of Talking Up Wrestling Podcast and DWE Radio. Make sure you give her and Talking Up Wrestling Podcast a follow on X and a subscription on YouTube, as well as the CEO and the head of the table and the other half of the Talking Up Wrestling Podcast of DWE Radio, Miami the Great, as well as Director Red, World of Greg, and After Slam Podcast, and everyone affiliated with Gimmick Table Media. Shout out to everyone from Gimmick Table Media as well. It's a lot of the Blinghausen in here. And shout out to Raymond for joining us. And shout out to the 189 people that tuned in tonight. So I definitely appreciate you guys. This is episode 3. As I said, beginning of the show, starting April the 26th. And that will be the first episode. I will be starting it's not a new show. I started this show back when I first opened up my channel. But it will be episode 1 of LFG season 3. So Sundays is going to turn into doubleheader Sundays starting April the 26th, because that is the season premiere of LFG season 3. And as I stated last night on the NXT Vengeance Day prediction show, if you're interested in coming on for the NXT Stand and Deliver prediction show, which is 2 weeks before WrestleMania, or the WrestleMania prediction shows, make sure you send me a DM, and I am going to make a list. You just made the list, Chris Jericho reference. That way I can keep up with it. So you guys make sure that you send me a DM. I'll put your name down. Yeah, we can have some big shows for Stand and Deliver, and obviously we want a huge show for WrestleMania, because we are less than 50 days. We're about 44, 45 days from WrestleMania. So shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight. I appreciate you guys tuning in to my 3rd episode of the TNA Impact Recap Show. I'm going to go to the outro, and I will be back to tell you guys where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up for you the rest of this week and next week. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to play this because I just have to. It just keeps slipping on every show. I don't know why.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, Show Recap Prediction Sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
All right, guys. Like I said, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the 3rd episode of the TNA Recap Show. This was actually my first live show tonight to be able to recap, so I'm definitely enjoying getting into TNA. So being able to branch out and watch other stuff besides WWE and NXT, it's good stuff. Like I said, I have not completed a full season of LFG on the EVP Show channel. So starting April 26th, Sunday, and I believe it's going to be around 11:30 p.m. Eastern, because it doesn't go off until 11 Eastern. Season 3 of LFG will be starting on the EVP Show channel. So make sure you guys set your reminders for that on April 26th, which is the week after WrestleMania. And also, like I said, if you want to be a guest on the Stand and Deliver prediction show, which is 2 weeks before WrestleMania, make sure you either send me or Miami or someone a DM that's affiliated with DWE, so that I can get a list going for Stand and Deliver, which is 2 weeks before Mania. And then if you want to be on the huge WrestleMania prediction show, where we will be covering night 1 and night 2, all of the matches in one night on one prediction show. Make sure you send me a message and I will get you down on the list. Just making the list. A shout out to the 200 people that we have watching live tonight. Also, shout out to the Unseen Blinghausen of the DWE podcast, and also one half of Talk It Up Wrestling podcast and the DWE Radio. And also, shout out to, make sure you give them a follow on X and a subscription on YouTube. And also, shout out to World of Greg, Director Reg, Outro Sun Podcast. Make sure you follow him on X and subscribe to him on YouTube as well. And shout out to the Wrestling Deal with Podcast, Lady Alpha, Autumn, Kicking Out at 2, Michael and Tori, Sped, let's see, Princess Jess. She's on TikTok mainly. So if you want to catch her, you need to catch her on TikTok. Let's see, Sergeant Square Circle Media, that's Mr. Benny, and the Running Wrestling Podcast with Big Mike. Shout out to all of them from Giving Table Media. Make sure you follow them and give them a subscription on YouTube as well. So as far as where you can find me on my socials, it is scrolling in blue across the bottom of the screen. All my links are in my bio. And once again, I will say this. I said this last night. I am 2 subscribers away from 200, which was my goal about 6 weeks ago before WrestleMania. So I only need 2 more subscribers, guys, to get to 200. So definitely try to help me get there, guys. But as far as my socials, if you're not following me on X, you can find me on X at EVPCJP. On Instagram, it's the same handle at EVPCJP in lowercase. I'm also on TikTok. At TikTok, my handle is at Brady, BRADY, DA Goat 21. At Brady the Goat 21. Not THE, DA. TikTok handle is at Brady the Goat 21. Last but not least, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like I said, I'm so close to 200 subs, guys. I'm almost there, and that was the goal before WrestleMania. If you are not already subscribed to my YouTube channel and you're looking for it, you go up to the search bar, type in at the EVP show, and hit that subscribe button. Get me one step closer to 200. I'm 2 away from 200. I have 202 viewers. They get 202 subscribers. So yeah, make sure you guys like and subscribe. And if you go back and watch this video tonight, make sure you give a like to the stream tonight, and also any comments that come through on YouTube. That helps my stream, it helps my channel, it helps the algorithm. So all of that is much appreciated. I appreciate you guys so much for that. Comments are usually flowing in here on some shows, and some shows not so much. A lot come from X. I know on Sunday Scoops that might be a 2-hour show, because there's going to be people have been blowing my DMs up all day today, which I don't answer any more DMs. So tune in to Sunday Scoop Sunday. So what I have coming up the rest of the week and next week. Tomorrow night, Drew McIntyre defends the Undisputed Championship against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Join me at 11:30 p.m. Eastern as I will break down SmackDown, and will we see a new Undisputed Champion going into WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas? And that will be at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. It's the SmackDown recap on the EVP show. Saturday, once NXT Vengeance Day goes off the air at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, join me live here on the EVP show for the NXT Vengeance Day recap show. And then Sunday, I know it's going to be a crazy whirlwind in here with all these changes and all that stuff that's happened in the last 24 to 48 hours. Tune in to at 6 p.m. Eastern Sunday for episode 10 of Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP. First 30-40 minutes will be news, and then I will open up the Q&A, and probably this week I will open it up for close to an hour. So make sure you set that reminder notification bell and tune in Sunday at 6 p.m. for episode 10 of Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP. Next week, I'm back at 11 p.m. Eastern Monday for your Raw recap. And then Tuesday night, join me again at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for your NXT recap. The only match that I know as official for next week is Ren Sinclair going one-on-one with, what is her name? My mind just went completely blank. It's the Speed by Thea Hell. Ren Sinclair going one-on-one with Thea Hell in the finals to see who will move on to face Fallon Henley for that women's WWE NXT Speed Championship. And that will be at 10:30 p.m. next Tuesday. Next Wednesday will be the first day that I haven't streamed in 16 days. So I will not be streaming. I probably won't be anywhere around a phone or anywhere on social media. I probably will be sleeping and resting my voice. It will be my first day that I haven't streamed in 16 days next Wednesday. So I will definitely be taking the day off and enjoying myself from these last 2 weeks and getting myself ready for what's coming up all the way to the end of March and into WrestleMania season. So Wednesday night, I'm not live with anything, guys, so I won't be on air. Thursday, I'm back next week for episode 4 of your TNA Recap Show at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then next Friday night, back again for the SmackDown Recap at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Saturday is my second day off of the week. Next week is a shorter week. It's a 5-stream week next week. Next Saturday, I have no streams, but I will be tuned in to Miami and Final Boss Baby because I think they'll be doing something of some sort, either DW Radio or Talking Up Wrestling, one of the two. But I'm off next Wednesday and next Saturday, so there'll be no stream on the EVP show. It's very rare, but I'm taking 2 days off next week, Wednesday and Saturday. But next Sunday, make sure you tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern again for episode 11 with Sunday Night Scoop with the EVP. So that's it, guys. That's it. That's my schedule for the rest of the week and my schedule for next week. Shout out to everyone that tuned in to episode 3 of the TNA Recap Show and the 201 people watching either live on the YouTube channel, my X, or on Miami the Great X. With that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. For the SmackDown Recap Show, will Cody Rhodes become a 3-time WWE Heavyweight Champion as he goes one-on-one against Drew McIntyre? You make sure you guys set the reminder and notification bell and join me tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern as we break down SmackDown. We are on the road to WrestleMania. With that being said, you guys enjoy the rest of your, well, it's already Friday on the East Coast. You guys enjoy your Friday and enjoy SmackDown, and I will see you guys tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the SmackDown recap. I am the EVP from the EVP show and the golden boy of DWE. DWE is where you need to be. Good night, everyone.